last thing that I need to do for my section is to create a roof. So I'm going to come here to my first floor plan, and I'm going to come into the architecture tab and hit roof. And again, just like my floors, I have a list of types here that I can choose from. So I'm going to scroll down to this wood rafter 8 inches with asphalt shingles. And I'm going to hit edit type, and I'm just going to check real quick. I'm going to click on my asphalt shingles, and I'm just going to assign a surface pattern to this. So I'm just going to pick the foreground and scroll down until I find my shingle hatch pattern. And I'm going to click OK. And then everything else looks good. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. And OK again. And now I am ready to draw the boundary of my roof. So just like my floor, I'm just going to draw the boundary, and you'll see that it's got this pink line. But one of the things that's different is if I start to draw one, I don't want to draw a line right on my wall, because usually your roof is going to have an eave and overhang a little bit. So before I even draw a line, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this line right here, and I'm going to add an offset. So I'm just going to offset this by a foot. And now when I click on the endpoint of my wall and then go over here to the other endpoint, it's going to draw that line 1 foot away from the edge of my wall. And I'm just going to go around and draw my roof. And then what this will do is this is going to generate the roof geometry based off of my sketch. And you'll see as I'm drawing that there's a bunch of these little tiny blue triangles. And what that's saying is that these lines that I'm drawing are a line that defines a slope in the roof. So I'm going to clean up these lines real quick and just make sure that I have one continuous polygon like I would for a floor. And so now that all of my house is covered, I'm going to hit this green check mark. And you'll see this kind of looks a little weird. And if I look at this in 3D, the reason it looks weird is because my roof is actually, let me make sure that it's on the right phase. Okay, make sure my 3D view is on the right phase. Is my roof is now actually occupying the same space as my first floor. And the reason that this is because I drew on level 1, but if I just come up here and just change this from level 1 to level 2, and that's going to put my roof in the right spot now. So now if I come back and look at my section, I can expand this and see where my roof is. Now the first thing is that one, my roof's really, really tall. So I'm going to click this, I'm going to change the slope. So right now it's at 912, which is pretty big. So I'm going to just bump this down for 4 for right now. And then the other thing is my level 2 is at 12 feet, and that's a little tall. So I'm just going to come in here, and I'm going to switch this to 10. And the next thing is I have a ceiling here that's probably at 9 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move all of these ceilings up. So I'm going to move these to 10 feet. But what that does is that puts that right at the same level. And so you'll notice that I don't want it necessarily to be right there. I want it to come down a little bit because this chipboard is really going to be at the bottom of the truss, which the bottom of the truss is going to be right here at the 10-foot mark. So I'm just going to, again, select these ceilings. And I'm just going to pull this down just a 1/2 inch. Get that where I want it to be. Now, the other thing with my roof is that everything, I'm just going to delete this vaulted ceiling that I had in here. Is now I'm going to just show you what happens as we play around with some of these lines. So I'm going to pick and edit my footprint. And so now if I wanted to create a gabled end, so right now my entire roof is just a hipped roof. If I want to create a gable end, I just pick the ones I want to be gables. I'm going to uncheck this one that says define slope. And now when I hit that green check mark, you'll see that I now have some gables. So there's a gable there and a gable there. But you'll notice that there's a hole in here because you can kind of see in, you can see my recessed can lights because there's a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick some of these walls. I'm going to just pick these 3 walls right here. And just like those walls in the basement, I can just say attach top to base. I'm going to pick my roof. And now that wall is going to attach to that base. And even if I come in here and edit the slope, I can control the slope just individually. So if I want this one to be a 6 and this one to be a 6, but the rest of them can still be a 4, then that wall will automatically adjust to where the new slope of that roof is going. So no matter what my shape of my roof is, that wall is always going to match no matter how it changes. And so that's how you kind of just draw a basic roof in Revit.